I know you don't talk a lot about politics overtly, but you talk about free markets.
Yeah, yeah.
And you talk about your faith. Some of the organizations you're associated with could be considered libertarian / center right. I don't think you've talked about this much. As an African American, I think something like 95% of African Americans probably voted for President Obama. Doesn't mean that they're all liberal Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you say to African Americans who say, like, why do you have this different worldview, this different philosophy?
So I would actually generalize this one. And I would say it's not just African Americans, but most people I know place an inordinate amount of faith in politicians, right? And we can parcel that out in many different ways. We can zoom in on the African Americans and say that undue faith shows up in the form of voting mostly in this direction. But even among white people, most of my white friends, I think most white people in this country get way too bent out of shape over politics, place way too much faith in getting the right person in office and way too little faith in their own personal power. You know, Milton Friedman said that the search should not be for a good person to run the system, but rather a good system that incentivizes even the bad person to do the right things. And I think most people of all colors focus on the wrong things in that regard, right? So I think this is a human problem.